Welcome back to the Burn Bootcamp podcast. My name is Zach Bodenhausen. I'm a franchise partner in Rockland, California, with my wife, Jennifer. I wanted to walk through a few questions we've gotten from the mailbag and let you guys know how I'm feeling. So the first question is, tell us about yourself and how did you get involved with Burn? So I grew up in Northern California with my family, and I've bounced around all kinds of cities. We've lived in Sacramento, San Diego, the Bay Area, but I ultimately got involved in fitness right out of college, a big company called 24 Hour Fitness. I'm sure you've heard of it. And the instant I started working there, I knew I wanted to work in fitness and own my own gym one day. So started stashing some money away, saving up every single year. Pennies started adding up. And right around 2019, finally saved enough money to pay for a franchise license. The question was, which franchise was it going to be? So started looking around, really hadn't heard too much about Burn because the closest one to us was up in Oregon or down in Costa Mesa. But fortunately, we had taken a family trip up to Oregon. My wife met some family friends up there. They took her for a workout at Burn. She fell in love. So that's how we found out about the brand. And we came out to a discovery day, met with Devin and Morgan, and ended up buying in. That was awesome. That was 2019. We all know what happened in 2020. I was still working in fitness. We had been looking for locations, and the pandemic hit. All of a sudden, my future was in question. I took a big salary cut at 24, and all of a sudden the question was, were we going to even be able to afford this anymore? So we took a hard look in the mirror. We decided, you know what, it's something we really want to do, we're passionate about. So we figured out we could sell our house and make enough money to open up our Burn. So we sold our house. Yeah, so we moved up to Rockland, California. And it's a little town between Sacramento and Lake Tahoe up in the foothills, Northern California. We ended up opening our Burn up there in February 2022 and just have had tremendous success. It's the only Burn within 500 miles, so we've really had a lot of fun introducing people to the brand, and here we are. It's going very well. So question number 2, what inspired you to be a Burn franchise partner? So I just told you about the whole journey, but really kind of what made us tip over the edge to Burn was our Discovery Day visit out to North Carolina. Jen and I came out here for the day, and we met with the team, and Devin and Morgan were here. And Devin and Morgan took the time to meet with us face to face, tell us about Burn. And it was just us and one other group, Kevin and Julie White, and just really conveyed their vision to us. And man, we were just bought in from day one. It's the passion in their voices, and the authenticity was amazing. So at that point, we were bought in. It was just a matter of finishing all the other stuff that it takes to open a Burn. So the next question is, what sets Burn apart from other fitness programs and gyms? And I had to think about this one for a little while. But to me, it really boils down to the focus on human connection. There's a lot of gyms out there, a lot of good gyms, but at the end of the day, you walk into a lot of those gyms and you see a bunch of mirrors, you see a bunch of TVs with workouts, you see fancy heart rate monitors and treadmills. And to me, all of that stuff just really takes away from that human to human interaction. That you walk into a Burn, you see none of that, but you do see a bunch of other people on the floating floor talking to each other. You see trainers and BAs interacting with members, and that to me is what sets Burn apart. It's a little old school, but I think building back that human connection is what really sets this company apart. Next question, will you share your transformation story? Yeah, so I've always been involved in fitness. So I'd say my transformation story is probably more professional than fitness related. But on the professional side, I've always been kind of a behind the computer guy at my companies, sitting behind a spreadsheet, running reports, talking about is the number up one, down one. And when we opened our Burn, it really required me to develop a ton of other skills, much more soft skills, getting to know people, getting to understand how people feel about something, and helping inform decisions based on what my members and my team members are feeling. It's just opening up those soft skills a little bit for me. Also learning all of the different positions, like that was, had to learn how to be a child watch attendant and a BA and even a trainer. Like just learning how to do all of those things just made me such a more well-rounded business person. And now actually I feel like those skills have translated into my everyday life as well. It probably helped my marriage a little bit. It's helped me in other avenues of my career as well. And it's just been a huge transformation for me to go from kind of a data guy behind the computer to running a business, interacting with hundreds of people, every week, and trying to make everything flow seamlessly together. What is the biggest challenge you face as a franchise owner, and how do you overcome that challenge? So this is a tough one, but to me, it's a challenge we see every week, and it's when new people walk into the gym and they have the greatest intentions. They are there to change their life. They have a great why, and they start out gung-ho, they join, and then they just fall off the map, and it's just they give up on themselves, they succumb to their excuses, and it's just really hard as a franchise partner. Yes, we want to make money, but the most important thing, obviously, is we're trying to change lives. We're trying to build a bigger community, and watching the people fall off is the hardest part, easily. And having to have those conversations with the member is super hard. So what have I learned is I've learned that it's super important when you meet somebody, you have to learn the name. You have to dig into the why and really understand, not just stop when they say, I want to lose 10 pounds, I want to lose 20 pounds. Like, why do you want to do that? How's that going to change your life? How are you going to do that forever? How can I help you get to that point? And then actually following through. If we say we're going to have a focus meeting, like we book the focus meeting, we call them and we have the focus meeting, and we don't stop until we know why that person's there. And hopefully it ends up with one or both of us kind of, crying it out, and because we've gotten so deep. And then that person I know is locked in for a long, long time and going to hit their goals. Next question. So this is a question, what parallels do you see between the franchise you work for and Burn? So I actually work concurrently for another company. I have a regular W-2 job, as we call it. I work for a big company called Sky Zone, who runs and operates family entertainment centers, trampoline parks across the country. And it's interesting because in that business, I'm on the other side of the table from the franchisees, whereas in Burn, I am a franchisee. So I get to see it from both sides. And I think what is abundantly clear is that in both situations, the headquarters team, although it doesn't always seem like it, always has the franchise's best interest in heart. We're aligned by a common goal. If the franchisee makes money, is successful, then the parent company is successful. So as a franchisee, sometimes at Burn, it can be frustrating not knowing if the interests are aligned, but being on both sides of the table, like it's abundantly clear that yes, they are. It's just a matter of making sure the communication is solid and everybody's on the same page as to how we're going to do that. How has Burn impacted your life personally and professionally? I'd say personally, being a franchise owner at Burn really puts your struggles into perspective. I think sometimes we wake up in the morning and, it's a tough day because we had to get up early. We maybe, we're 10 minutes late getting to the gym, had to set up some equipment. But then, the members start coming in, and you have a member there that is battling chemo, cancer, and they're going through chemo treatment. but they're still showing up to the gym. And you have another member that maybe had a miscarriage, recently. And all these people just coming in that you've gotten down to their why. You've dug in so deep that, it really puts your personal struggles into perspective and allows you to be grateful and thankful for, for the things that you have and the ability that we have as franchise partners to help these people through the really hard times of their lives. All right, the next question. Can you share some success stories of members who have achieved their fitness goals through Burn? So we've been open about a year, a little over, and the success stories are so many. But there's one that comes to mind, and it's a couple that comes to our evening camp. It's Chris and Amanda and their beautiful daughter, Caitlin. And Chris and Amanda started a couple of months ago. It makes me emotional thinking about it. They started a couple of months ago, and together they've already lost, I think, over 60 pounds combined. But it's not just the weight loss. They came in, they were lost. They didn't really know how to work out. They needed mods for everything. And now they're to the point where they're doing push-ups on the ground. They're doing strength days, cardio days. They're listening to us. They're taking what we say to heart. They're having focus meetings, and the results are just astounding. I mean, just, better than anybody could have thought. And, people walk in the door and you're not sure if they're going to stick with it. Chris and Amanda just blew me away, 60 pounds combined in a couple of months. And the real great thing is they bring their daughter every single time. I think she's 11 or 12 years old, and she stands at the child watch door and she watches her parents work out and put in the work. And the example they're setting for her is just phenomenal. And she's going to grow up knowing what it's like to work hard, to care about your fitness, and she's going to have a better life for it. So that's the reason why we do what we do. There's a few more stories, but that one really just stands out to me. Next question. How do you create a supportive and inclusive environment for all members? This is a great question. And I think for sure it starts with the team that you hire. We got really lucky. We have an amazing manager, Megan. We have an amazing training team as well, and BAs that just really step up and care to actually know who our members are and be involved in their lives, give them their cell phone number, text them. But what it boils down to for us is you really have to celebrate every single win, big or small. It could be the simplest thing, like, hey, I did a push-up, on the ground instead of on the wall this week, or, I got my first double under. Just celebrating those little wins, that's what makes our members feel supported and loved and appreciated, and they know that they can come to us and tell us, and we legitimately care about them, and we'll celebrate with them. So the next question is, what advice would you give somebody considering becoming a member at Burn or a franchise partner at Burn? And I would say for the member, some of us are introverts, some of us are extroverts, but regardless, I would say go find somebody and say hi and give them a high five. Introduce yourself before camp. Ask them if they will be your partner in the warm-up. If you do that, you're going to find a friend, you're going to find an accountability partner, and it's just going to help you get to where you want to be so much faster. And for the FP, the franchise partner, I would say at the end of the day, HQ is going to give you a phenomenal playbook. They're going to give you the protocol, which is worth its weight in gold. All the support you could want. But at the end of the day, it comes down to you. It falls on your shoulders. If you're not getting, the traction, the traffic that you need, you have to find ways to do that for yourself. So be prepared, work hard, wake up early, be ready to put in the work to grow your business, and it'll happen for you. The next questions are, what are your future plans for Burn, and how do you see the franchise evolving in the coming years? For me personally, my future plans, I want to be more involved with the FAC. So I'm definitely going to plan on taking a bigger role next year in the FAC, and then mentor more new franchise partners as well. I've been really enjoying getting on the phone with those new potential franchise partners and talking to them about how great Burn is, how they should look at their territory before they open, what they should think about it. It's just been a ton of fun. So I want to get more involved in that. And then also, obviously, I would love to grow my gym a little bit more as well, looking at 500 being the goal for the end of next year. And then, how do you see the franchise evolving in the coming years? I don't see us evolving in a technological way where we're taking away from that member experience that I spoke to earlier, but I see us using technology to more effectively track a member's journey through Burn. So what happens when they enter their information on the website, when they come to their first camp, like are we able to contact them at the exact right time with a motivational note or an offer or something to keep them from canceling when they haven't used the gym in a week. Just being able to hit the member with the exact right message at the right time and using technology to know when that right time is something that's exciting that's happening right now at Burn. And then what new developments or programs what exciting new developments or programs does Burn have in the works? This is a good question. I think one of the new programs that I'm most excited about is the Blue Carpet Experience gyms, so the certified gyms that are going to be putting on like local regional trainings. This is really awesome because it allows us to send our teams to another gym that does the blue carpet really, really well, and see how that gym actually does it in action and get live feedback from their trainers with their actual members. It's going to be a little more cost effective because it's closer to home, and it's going to alleviate some pressure on HQ as well. So I'm really excited to see how the Blue Carpet Certified Gym program works, and I think it's going to be a big win for Burn Nation. So those are the questions that I got this week. Thank you everybody for having me on and listening to this podcast. Full disclosure, a little bit out of my comfort zone, so hopefully you got something out of it. And if you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. And we're gonna end this podcast with 2 claps on 2. 1, 2.